And we are live. Welcome to the Devils in God's Country. I am one of your hosts, Casper Rigsby. This is my lovely, talented co host, Allie Jackson. Say hi, Miss Allie.
Hi, everybody.
Allie has been out for the last 2 weeks because shit has just hit the fan with Miss Allie, and she unfortunately suffered some illnesses and had to do a little hospital stint, which is absolute bullshit. And it was caused by some assholes in our group to some extent, and some people that we had to purge from our own ranks. Of course, the atheist movement is not immune to stupidity and assholishness. So Miss Allie is living proof of that. And unfortunately, she has spent some time in the hospital dealing with having to um, get well after some very stressful situations caused her a physical illness. So we're going to start off our broadcast tonight by talking with Miss Allie about what happened. And how we might better deal with stress, and we're going to get into talking about atheism and Christmas, and how atheists celebrate Christmas, and why atheists such as me and Allie celebrate Christmas, and why we got that beautiful Christmas tree in the back. Miss Allie's got her beautiful Christmas tree. I'm in my garage because this is the only place in the house I can smoke, and then I still have a nasty addiction. So you can't see my beautiful Christmas tree, but it is up, and we do celebrate in my house, but we'll get a little bit into that a little bit later. First, I'd just like to let Miss Allie speak and talk about stress and dealing with that, because this is a stressful time in everyone's life, especially for atheists who this may be one of the few times you spend around your religious family. And some of them right now are probably going insane, telling you that Jesus is the fucking reason for the fucking season. When, as Carl Sagan has stated most succinctly, axial tilt is the reason for the season. But, uh, to each their own, I guess. So I'll let Miss Allie speak, and we're so glad to have her back. So happy to have her with us here tonight.
I am so incredibly happy to be back. It has been quite the stressful past 2 weeks, more so, I think, but 2 weeks especially. I think that it's important for everyone, especially this time of year, to really, as the Frozen movie says, let it go. I know that is so cliche, and that term is shoved down our throats all the time. But no, I mean, when you get to the point where things have you so stressed out that you don't eat for like 3 days, and then all of a sudden you start throwing up mass amounts of blood uh, that end you in the hospital. It's really time to start checking your shit and letting stuff go. I tried to make a few little changes to kind of make a small little part of our organization better, because the large part of our organization really enjoyed the changes that we made. And from that, we received a lot of backlash. And some really great people that I thought were really good friends really took a lot of offense to it. And then all of a sudden, my life started turning into a living hell when a lot of other people decided it would be a great idea to go on my profile and steal my pictures, report my pictures to Facebook, just mass reporting. I mean, like so much reporting, going onto our page, reporting our page, which I don't think a lot of them understood the way they reported it, let me know who they were. And so that added to the stress. And it's somebody that you think that you like, and you're like, oh my God, why are they doing this? It definitely adds a lot of stress. And, we have to really get unplugged sometimes. That is so important. And this time of year, when you're going out and you're at your extended families and you're doing your thing, I highly recommend you right now take a break, unplug yourself, get away from Facebook. Don't post the Christmas tree on Facebook. Don't post that Christmas clutter that you have out there. Keep it for yourself. Let that be your own little memory. Let that be your own little thing. Unplug yourself a little bit, because I think that a lot of us get so addicted to sharing so much of our lives, and we forget that, sharing too much is actually a really bad thing for you. And it can, in the end, cause a lot of stress, because when you put your entire life online, and you start to really hold feelings and high regards for people online, they can hurt you really bad. They might not have the same regard for you that you have for them. So yeah, I am very guilty of being someone who has plastered my life online, shared it out with other people that I guess I really didn't know that well. And it was a bad backlash. So when, you know, I'm sitting there deleting pictures before I can even save them, you know, because I don't want Facebook to take them down and things like that. You know, it really hurt. It was really, really stressful for me, because I had made that aspect so important in my real life that I felt like my life was kind of crumbling. Now that's really sad and it's pretty pathetic. I do get that. But I stressed out, you know, losing friends. Why are people talking to me this way? Why don't people understand what was going on? You know, I am CEO of this organization. A Facebook group is not the organization. It's kind of the equivalent of, I guess, like the CEO of Starbucks going into one of their stores, right? Saying, I want to make some changes to this store to make our face a little bit friendlier. So no, I wasn't the CEO of a Facebook group or anything like that. But when people just weren't understanding what was going on, and people refused to understand what was going on, and then when people were given the proof that they wanted, and they still, you know, were just like, no, I'm going to believe this because it's more exciting to believe this and to believe the truth. That was really stressful for me. And I ended up throwing up blood. And my bestest friend in the world, Casper, the night before this all happened, I did reach out to him and I was like, please, you know, kind of step in for me the next day or two. I need a break from this. But it was a little too late. The next day, throwing up blood, had to go to the ER, and then I had to stay in the hospital for 10 days. So it's very stressful. And so I think that it's really important to remind people what happens online should never affect your life. And if it gets to the point where it does affect your life, then you're doing it wrong. So unplug yourself, step away from it, get out from it, take a breath, let it go. If there's something that you just absolutely believe is this fundamental great part of your life, watch it burn. Watch it burn and realize that it doesn't fucking matter. Nothing fucking matters but your health and your family. You know, so these little stresses that we have, that we think, you know, oh, without this, I would just be nothing. Oh, without this, I don't think that, you know, my life would be as great. No, it would absolutely be as great. You would absolutely find something else that's more enjoyable in the real world. So step away from Facebook. If you're one of those people that is checking your Facebook every single day, multiple times a day, step away from it for a while. Don't get to the point where I was. That's just how I kind of wanted to start this off. It's a stressful time of year. There's too many real life stresses going on right now. You want to get your kids all the great presents. You want to impress mom and dad when you go home with your job this holiday season. So focus on those stresses and step away from your social media. Just a little bit of advice.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, not that I have to speak for you, but I know that I can speak for you on this and say that we don't actually hate and you know, honestly, we're not even that pissed off at the people that brought this about. But I would like to say, fuck your actions. Not fuck you as a person, but fuck your actions. Your actions were fucking childish and fucking stupid, and you need to grow the fuck up. You do. Because this is bigger than you. The atheist community is something that is new to atheist. We've had in the past, we've had groups like Atheist Plus and whatnot, and they've tried to herd cats, so to speak, in the Dawkins vernacular there. But what we've tried to do with Atheist Republic is really create a community, and what we're trying to do in the future and going forward with the atheist community or Atheist Republic and the community that we're trying to build is to build a real community. And that means you have to put your fucking ego to the side. You are not number one. I could sit here and talk to you all about all day about all the blogs I've written and the books I've written and how that's promoted Atheist Republic. But at the end of the fucking day, it's not about me. It's not about my ego. I'm able to put that in check and say, you know what? It's bigger than me. It's about an organization that means something and is trying to do something and is trying to create something for everybody. It's not about you and your little fucking corner and your little bit of fucking supremacy and what you've got a hold of, what you think you fucking built. I could honestly, I could sit here all day and talk about what I think I fucking built for Atheist Republic, and that's bullshit. Why would I do that? It's not about me. It's about all of you, the people that watch this show, the people that go to our website, the people that enjoy the communication that they have in our private Facebook page that is limited only to atheists, where even atheists in countries where they could be executed can speak their minds. That's what it's about. It's about people who can't speak anywhere else having a voice. And your voice doesn't get to fucking trump them. I don't give a fuck if you agree with them. Your voice doesn't get to trump them. You get to state your opinion. They get to state theirs. We want this to be an environment where people feel welcome. And if you are a detriment to that, Allie has taken it upon herself, and I'm backing her 100% as an officer in this organization to take the time to make this an organization that cares about its members, not just the volunteers, not just the people who are supposedly a part of Atheist Republic, the 300 some odd volunteers that we have in the group, everyone. 1.2 million viewers on Facebook, over 60,000 people in our Facebook group. It's bigger than you. Let your fucking ego go. If you can't check it at the fucking door, we don't need you involved in this. And I hate to say that. I hate to be that guy, but yes, I had to play the bad guy at some point, and Allie had to ask me to step in for it. And honestly, I'm so glad to see Allie back, because that brings me around to another point that we don't see a lot of big female figures in the atheist community, and Allie is one. As CEO of Atheist Republic, Allie stepped into a role that nobody really wanted. Okay, I could have done that role, but I no, that's more than I was willing to take on, and Allie was willing to step up to the plate, even where I wasn't, where it was more than our men really wanted to take on. It was more than anyone in this group really wanted to take on, because it's grown so big, and Allie loves this community so much that she was willing to step up. And for people to demean and disrespect her, it's just it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable in this organization.
Well,
So
and especially
I'm
because
loving.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Beck. Go no,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
you and I built a leadership, and I really want to talk about this too, because I want anyone watching to want to be a part of what we're doing, and I want you guys to go and apply to be on our team. Casper and I have kind of built a leadership team where the leaders of the different groups that we have, they aren't on top of anybody. They're not your boss. They don't get to tell you what to do. They're the people that you get to go to and say, hey, I have this idea and I want to make it happen. And the leader of your team is supposed to say, you know what? Great. I'm going to get you there. Okay. We're not an organization where we want to say no to people. We want to say how can we do this? How can we help you do this? How can we give you the platform to grow, to get this idea you have and get it out there to the people? That is the leadership that we've built. And when I don't even like the title CEO per se, because what I am and what I feel and what I put out in the welcome letters to everybody who applies to our team and gets accepted, I let them know right away that I play many roles in Atheist Republic, but my most favorite role is getting you to the place where you want to be in our organization, and that's just the way we are. So it's not a power trip. No one is power hungry, and no one should be. And when you start seeing anybody get possessive over a piece of an organization that belongs to everybody, that gets a little scary to me, because that doesn't belong to you. It belongs to everybody. What we're putting out there, nothing here belongs to me. Nothing that Casper has done, he's ever wanted to say, this is mine, this belongs to me. He's put it out there because he knew other atheists needed it, and he gave it to the community. He gave it to everybody who needed it. I give everything that I can to everybody who needs it, and that's just how we are in our community. That's how we run our organization. I want to help build you into the person you want to be. I want to help you have a platform to be an activist if that's what you want to be. So, it really broke my heart, absolutely broke my heart to see people upset for any reason in our organization. But aside from our volunteers, who I love and adore and cherish beyond belief, I also feel the same way about our members. Everyone who views our shows, everyone who comes and comments in our groups or on our page, I value you just as much too. So, if I see somebody trying to take something away from you, the member, I have to do something. I don't want to be a mean person. I don't want to be a bad person, but I have to make changes to make things fair for both volunteers and members. So, I know that a lot of people got upset over the small changes that I made to our Facebook group. Which, by the way, if you aren't in our Facebook group, you should join it. It's awesome. We did make some small changes to make sure that admins understood that they were held by the same standards as every member in our group. I'm also held to those same standards. Okay, I'm not allowed to go personally attack you. I'm not allowed to harass you. I'm not allowed to make you feel uncomfortable or creep on you or anything else. So I hold myself to the exact same standards I hold our members to. And I just wanted to remind, the admins, you're held to the same standards. And I wanted to bring in a team lead, that person who says, hey, you guys want to do this? Let me help you get that done. Not a boss. I made that perfectly clear. It's not a boss. It's just a team lead. And then after a month, you guys can pick your own. But that upset our volunteers in that particular area, because they felt they were a culture that was different from AR. And, it's not how we work. You don't get to take a piece and say, this is mine. I'm going to make it this way. And if you don't like it, I'm going to disrespect you in every single way possible. You can't do that. And so I just wanted to put that reminder out there. And I would definitely like to say I'm sorry to anyone who was upset at the small changes I made to make things fair for our members and our volunteers. But I'm also outrageously grateful for the people who stepped up and said, you know what, I kind of see what you're doing here, and I want to be a part of it. Let me help you. So I really appreciate our volunteers that stepped up during that hard time and helped us out and get things back on track and growing. So just thank you to everyone, and thank you to all of our members as well. And please volunteer with us. Let us help you be the person you want to be. That's kind of what we're here to do. That's why we do everything that we do. We put our voices out there so that maybe someone can be, hey, that's my voice too. I understand where she's coming from. I am that kind of person. I have been feeling that for so long, but I didn't know how to express it. And the words that he or she just put out, those are my words. I feel that. That's why we do what we do. Everything we do, we give to our members. We give to our volunteers. And that's just what we do here. So definitely, I really appreciate this platform where I get to put that out there to people, and people kind of get to understand a little bit more on my side. So I'm grateful for this, but I don't really know what else to say about that.
Yeah, and again, for anybody who feels that they'd like to join our team, be a part of what we do. Be a part of this organization. The link is always down there right below in the description. Please click on it, atheistrepublic.com/volunteers. We want to have as many people involved in this organization as we can. Of course, the thing you run into when you run into an organization of more than 300 volunteers is you need some structure, some leadership, some guidelines, some ability to communicate with each other on a really doable level, and that's all we've tried to instill here. And some people got upset about that because it's like I say about religious people all the time. The true colors show when you challenge their presumption to supremacy and special treatment. When you challenge somebody's ideas that they deserve special treatment because of their position, then people always, there tends to be a backlash. So that's going to happen, and we expected that. Um, Luckily, I was able to step in and play the part of the bad guy in this more so than Allie, because it would have onset a lot of this a lot sooner had she had to play that part, and she still had to be involved, which was just shitty. It comes back around to how this stress can really affect your life. For myself and for Allie, I can speak honestly and say that this means so much to us. That's why we devote so much of our time to it. Um, and when things don't go right, when things blow up in our faces, it has devastating effects. I know Miss Allie told you to let things go. And unfortunately, for her and myself and for others in this organization, it's almost impossible to let things go because this is our family. This is what we have. Um, our biological family really isn't there. So this is our family, and it means so much to us. And when things go wrong, it really can have devastating effects. Um, but I totally agree with Miss Allie. Like there's times when you just have to step away some and focus on your real life, so to speak, and give that more attention than you're giving to the things that you understand really matter, but are a little bit beyond your control. This situation that's caused this problem in our organization is a little bit beyond our control, and that's sort of the problem. It needs to be within our scope of control, and in order to do that, we had to make it beyond our scope of control and just deal with the backlash, and that's sad. Um, but like I said, we don't hate anyone. We're not really mad at anyone. But I will say fuck your actions. I'll say fuck your actions all day long. Your actions are just inexcusable, and hopefully you can grow and learn just as we've grown and learned, and we can all um, work together in some capacity in the future. Because we truly do believe in the idea of community, and we want the atheists community as a whole to be a community, whether you're part of the Atheist Republic organization or not. We want this community of atheists to be a community. um, Religious people have communities, and this is something that we've been sorely lacking. So that's what we want here. We want you to feel like you're welcome here. Whether you totally agree with us or not, it's fine. If you disagree with us, that's fine. But we want you to feel like you're welcome here, and that's what we're trying to put forward. So, on the heels of that, I guess we'll get into Christmas. Oh, the Christ Mass. For those of you not really familiar with the history of Christmas, the word Christmas itself comes from the idea of Christ Mass from the Catholic Church. Those of you not familiar with Catholicism probably have very little idea about this, but when Saturnalia was adopted, by Catholicism and the Roman Church, the Roman Catholic Church. They had a special mass on December, in the month of December. It wasn't necessarily December 25th. Many celebrated on different days, but they inherited and engulfed the idea of Saturnalia and started having special masses in honor of the birth of Jesus for what they called Christ Mass, which is what we now call Christmas. So that's where that word comes from. The celebration of the Christmas season, however, which is the winter solstice, predates Christianity by many thousands of years, going all the way back to the early pagan and Wiccan traditions, which celebrated the post-harvest season and the changing of the seasons, and the long winter in which they would celebrate a fruitful harvest, which would allow them to make it through the winter season. Um, just a bit of history for those of you who may not know it. Always love to throw that out there for. But what we'd like to discuss is why atheists should still celebrate this, or how we celebrate it. And for me and my household, I love to tell my children that this is December 25th is atheist kids get presents for no apparent reason day, and they love that because they just get presents for no apparent reason. And basically, I try to help them understand the importance of the changing of seasons within the human tradition, within the human experience, because winters could be very harsh for our early pagan ancestors. So when you reach that point of winter, you celebrate having a good harvest and having all these food stocks in reserve and being able to make it through the winter. That's really what it was about. Can you make it through this harsh season where you're not going to have food and things available to you as readily as you do in the spring and summer? And that's what the celebration began as. Can we make it through this season? And oh yes, we've had a great harvest, and we have plenty of grains in reserves, and we have plenty of livestock settled back into our shelters, and now we can make it through this season. And that was something to celebrate because people would live through that experience in an era where the child mortality rate was through the roof. Children born in this season had a very low chance of survival unless your harvest and everything was substantial. So it was important in the human experience. So it predates Christianity, and it ties into the human experience. So how do you celebrate Christmas in your house, Miss Allie?
I've taught my kids all the different reasons why people celebrate Christmas, and I do focus a lot on the traditional now. People celebrate because it's Jesus's birthday. So my kids totally know that that's the myth around the holiday. And we go out, we sing the songs, I'll play them on my piano. We have a good time. And yeah, we love all of the make-believe that surrounds Christmas. So just like we like to pretend in my house, we don't believe in Santa, but my kids like to pretend that there's a Santa. So that's what we do here, and we like to bake the cookies and get everything set up. We put out carrots for reindeer, and yeah, during the actual Christmas dinner and things like that, my kids do like to discuss. Just for the past 3 years, I think we've done this. Discuss why people celebrate Christmas for Jesus's birth. Why does everyone choose to celebrate that birthday? So it's pretty exciting. I think it's fun listening to the younger kids kind of give you input. I love asking that, and they're like, well, why does everyone decide to celebrate his birthday? Why don't we celebrate other people's birthday? Which we kind of do. We do have other holidays for other people's birthdays, but not to this extent. So they're like, if you're supposed to be Christian, if you're supposed to be humble, how does it make sense to go this far and celebrating Jesus' birthday? So I think there are a lot of people, a lot of Christians that actually don't enjoy the lights and the trees and all that stuff because they do find it blasphemous. I don't know. What do you think they do for Christmas? It's kind of weird, but yeah, we do. I love Christmas. I'm such a kid. Christmas is one of my favorite times of year. This is our first year doing Elf on the Shelf for the little baby. She's 2 years old. So the older kids, thought it'd be a great idea to start Elf on the Shelf this year for her. And that's been really exciting and really fun. We've kind of put our own little twist on that as well. Instead of being traditional and the elf showing up doing cute little things, sometimes our elf shows up doing bad little things. And we thought it'd be really funny to get an elf and kind of make an outfit for it or a costume for it to be Krampus. That would be hilarious to do 1 year for her. And she's a little older and can appreciate it. So yeah, I mean, we go all out in my house, huge Christmas dinner, but this year is going to be different. So this year I'm kind of excited because we are going to have a Serbian Christmas. So all of you watching, you're going to see my Christmas tree up a lot longer than New Year's because we're going to be celebrating Christmas on January 6th and 7th. So it should be pretty exciting to try that this year.
I end up coming back to the idea of like Jehovah's Witnesses and other staunch fundamentalist Christian groups who don't celebrate Christmas because they actually have read the Bible. and they know that the Bible specifically says don't fall into pagan traditions and don't drag a tree into your house and don't decorate it because that's some pagan shit that is not in line with Judaism, and they understand that Jesus was a Jew and whatnot. But I feel bad for those kids. It's like, oh, you
No.
miss out. You miss out so. That's why my kids still get Christmas. Like, if you have a Christmas party at school, like my kid's not going to be excluded from that just because they're an atheist. They're like, no, I don't believe in Jesus, so I can't participate in your party. They're gonna be like, look, whatever fairy tale you want to fucking imbibe in, that's cool with me. I'm here for the fucking presents and the food and the fucking fellowship. That's what I'm here for. You give a
Yeah.
fuck what fairy tale you're fucking putting it under. Like, are we celebrating Krampus? Okay, we'll do that too. That's fine. Whatever. I'm just here for the food and fun and the presents. Like, I don't give a shit. It's the same as celebrating Easter, and I don't deny my kids that experience. I would never deny them that, but because I know that it goes beyond what we're all traditionally expected to accept. So I can literally tell my kids, look, we're celebrating a season when people used to die left and right, and to make it through this season without people dying left and right was something worth celebrating for our ancestors, and that's part of the human experience. It goes beyond religion. um and that's just what I try to focus on, and I don't try to exclude them just because we don't believe what other people believe. It's like, look, if you want to, enjoy the fairy tale for a day, that's fine. Just understand where it comes from and understand why it exists, and don't spoil it for anybody. I tell my 8-year-old all the time, just because you don't know, just because you know that Santa doesn't exist, doesn't mean you should spoil that for anybody else. Don't go around telling all the kids in your class that Santa doesn't fucking exist. You're a douchebag if you do that. Don't do that. Just because I've laid it out for you doesn't mean you should share that with everybody. And it's one of those things that becomes weird when you deal with your kids on don't lie, be honest, and then it's like, well, there's certain times when a lie of omission is a little bit better than being straightforward. And for me personally, as a hardcore anti-theist, it's very hard for me to make that claim because my kids look at me and they go, "Daddy, you never lie. Like you're always straightforward about everything. Like why do you?" And I'm like, "Look, I'm an adult and I don't have to deal with the backlash from it in the same way you like I'm able to deal with that backlash, but you're going to lose friends and stuff and that's important for you as a child to have that interaction. Whereas for me as an adult, I can be like, well, fuck it. If you can't deal with the truth, I'll write you off. You're just another fucking loss in the book. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm true to me. You make that decision for you when you get older. Don't ruin that in your childhood because you need that experience. You need to understand why it's important to write that off when you get older. You know, if I hadn't experienced that childhood experience, I wouldn't understand why it's important to be true to myself at this point as an adult. It wouldn't carry the same weight for me. So I don't want to take that from them, and I don't want to take the experience from them. And enjoy a bit of make believe. Do you enjoy comic books and movies and cartoon shows? If you do, then you can have a bit of make believe in your life. If you want to play with the other kids that enjoy Santa and Rudolph and all the other reindeer and putting out cookies and milk for Christmas, then that's fine. I will eat your cookies and milk for Christmas, but unfortunately, you're going to know it's me that's eating them, and those other kids aren't. Like, you're going to know when daddy has a fat belly and he's bloated and going, oh, I shouldn't have ate all those cookies. Like, you're going to know that, but maybe the other kids aren't. So don't ruin it for everybody else, but it don't deprive your child of it either. That's sort of the message I want to get across to other atheists. Don't think that just because you don't believe in God, you can't celebrate Christmas because it goes beyond Christ and it goes beyond religion and it goes beyond Christianity. Jesus is not the reason for the season. Um, First of all, axial tilt is, and second of all, the human tradition of celebrating getting through another year is the reason for the season. And those of us who have an understanding of history and our past and the human experience truly understand that. But don't limit your children just because you're of an understanding and maybe even a bit jaded. I'm truly a bit jaded myself, and of course that definitely contributes to my anti-theism. But I try not to push that on anyone other than myself. But you're always going to get the absolute truth from me.
Well, that's why I respect you. I like that about you. Some people can handle that. Some people can't handle that. But it's interesting that you mentioned lying. A lot of parents are like, oh, well, it's okay to lie sometimes. This time it's okay for me to lie to you. Christmas was always an okay time to lie. And as I got a little bit older and as I became a cynical teenager, I kind of questioned, why is it okay to lie at Christmas only? And where do we draw the line? Do I just get to lie to you about presents that I got for you? Or do I get to lie to you because I know that my lie is going to make you happy and it's Christmas time? So, someone who just puts a little bit of thought into that kind of realizes it's kind of a shitty thing to go on and say that it's okay to lie at Christmas, and it should probably never be okay to lie. And then that's why I like pretend. That's why I like that we do that in my house, because I am a grown woman and I get to pretend that Santa's coming for me too, even though I know every single present I have for myself under the tree. I get to enjoy the fact that I believe that something else magical is happening, and my kids get to believe something magical is happening. We all know it's pretend. And if you're not okay with pretending, I think that's a little sad. I do. I think that depriving children of an opportunity to have a little bit of make-believe in their life, have a little bit of magic, have a moment where, things are just fun for a moment. And yeah, you know the truth, you know that it's not real, but you should be able to have some sort of fun. I mean, if anything, Christmas should be a celebration of getting through another hard fucking year for us too. It's hard as parents. And any parent that's watching this that says, no, it's actually not so hard, fuck you. It's really hard for the majority of us. Getting the calls home from the teachers when your kids, what did they do this time? My kids are awesome. My kids are great. But so many times when my oldest was little, I would get calls from the principal for him doing really weird shit. And I was like, I don't understand why he did this. And I'd be like, where did you learn that terminology? Where are you getting this stuff from? And it was so stressful for me because I'd have to leave work. I'd have to go get my kid. I have to go sit through another teacher's meeting. Life is hard. Life is still hard. No, we don't have to worry about harvest. We don't have to worry about if we have enough livestock to make it through the season, but we have other shit that just makes things really hard. And so, yeah, if anything, why don't you just celebrate Christmas as making it through the year again? We can still do that. Making it through the year is hard. Yes, I understand that we're all probably going to do it, especially if you've got a great job, you make some money, you've got a house, and you don't have those stresses. You still have the social stresses of things just being so exhausting. And so Christmas to me is that time of year where I just going to say, you know what? Fuck everything. I'm going to play a little bit of make-believe with my kids. I'm going to make some cookies. We're going to feed some reindeer. We're going to curl up on the couch together with Coco and watch some magical Christmas movies. And it's fun. And I hate seeing those parents that are so cynical and are so angry. I don't believe in God, so no Christmas for us in our house. I think you're just as crazy as the Christian parents that don't let their kids go out on Halloween because it's evil and of the devil. Like, I mean, seriously, get over yourself. Life is hard enough as it is without you throwing in these extra adages where you just start to rip joy from yourself. You're literally robbing yourself when you say, I'm not going to celebrate this holiday because it has some, religious. Why don't you just make it your own? Like, are you kidding me? You guys do realize you have the power to do that, right? You have the power to make something your own. That's always really pissed me off and bothered me pretty bad, especially being as an open atheist now as I am. Atheists that say, I don't celebrate Christmas. I think you're crazy for celebrating Christmas. No, I think you're crazy for not taking an opportunity to find some joy in your life. I think you're crazy, not me. And I'm a grown woman who likes to play make-believe at Christmas time, and I'm calling you crazy. But another weird thing, so get this, my oldest wants me to go to church. This is one of his Christmas gifts. He wants us to go to church. Just so he can have that experience, because other people go to church on Christmas and he wants that experience. So he was like, I want you to go and I want you to be honest. If anyone talks to you, I want you to be honest about who you are and what you believe. I don't want you to sit there and shaking your head and anything. He's like, I want to see how people react. I think this would be a great Christmas present for me. And I thought that was crazy, but I think I'm going to give it to him. I think we're going to go. I'm going to take him to church so he kind of gets that experience and understands what it's like at church. I live in a very small town, so this is kind of like social suicide for me. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
What I suggest is finding your nearest Catholic diocese and going to a midnight mass.
Oh man, you die.
Because it's an amazing experience. Granted, you have to drag the kids out of bed at 11 o'clock and get them ready and everything, but just experiencing that is very it's very what it for me. And I was still dabbling in religion when I met my wife, but I dragged her to a midnight mass for Christmas when we first met, And it was one of those things where she said, this is the point where I can understand why this is so appealing. You know, I can
Yeah.
understand why people are so drawn into this, because this is an experience. It's one of those things where you're just like, oh my goodness, this is, I can see why people are drawn to this, and I can see why it's so appealing, because the fellowship and the communion there is so moving. It really is a very different experience than anything else they're going to experience in life. It's very different, and it can give them an appreciation of religious people and why they are drawn. Excuse me, I'm fucking wasted. I'm sorry. And why they're drawn to this experience and why it's so moving for them and why it has such an impact on their lives. When people tell me they've experienced God in their lives, I think about some of the experience I've had in church and in tent revivals and in a midnight mass for Christmas. And it's like, yeah, I can get why you feel that way. I understand it clinically in a very different way. And that's why I don't believe in it. Um, but I understand your viewpoint. I understand where you're coming from. And now maybe I can talk to you and we can communicate and we can open some dialogue because I can address why you feel that way. I want to drag you to a Lamb of God concert with me and say, how do you feel after this? Does that give you the same feeling? Because for me, it's the same experience. It's that sort of connection that's like it transcends the general, blase day to day experience of being a human being. You're just like, oh my god, I connected with people in a way that's beyond the norm. And that really affects people. It really has a movement towards people, and it's like you can get this outside of religion. It doesn't just exist there, it exists beyond that. It's part of the human experience. And that's one of those reasons why I tell people, look, I can't prove there is no God. I can just prove that your chosen God doesn't exist. I can prove that. But I can't prove there is no God, and I can't prove that there is no connection, for the human experience. Like, it's moving to me. I am moved by interaction with other human beings, and that communion and that experience. It really moves me. I feel it, but I understand that's probably just a neurochemical reaction in my brain that causes me to feel that way. But at the same time, I'm glad it's there. I cherish that. That's so wonderful. We're so lucky above most other species on this planet to experience that. How many other species don't get to experience that? That's so sad. How many other primates that are in our own family line that are direct descendants of the same ancestor as us, how many of them don't get to experience that? And for us to be able to experience it and understand it, wow, that's amazing. Don't give up on that. Don't miss out on that just because you're cynical. That's horrible. And don't keep anybody from that. The human experience, that's the most important thing to me as an atheist. The human experience being a human. You only get to do this once. You only get to be a human being on the planet Earth one time. That only happens once. Experience it, embrace it, love it, cherish it. It's so amazing. It's so wonderful. I'm not missing out on anything by not being religious. I have religious experiences in my life just by being a human being and embracing that experience and embracing being a human being. And religion kills that. It says that as a human being, You're a terrible thing that needs to transcend humanity in order to be worthy of God. Fuck that. Embrace humanity. Embrace the human experience. Embrace that. You only get it once. Live it. Love it. Fucking swallow it in. Pull it in every chance you get. I don't know. I get passionate about that. I really do. I love the human experience. If I could live 2,000 years as a human being, I would do it. You know, if there were really vampires, I'm like, bite me, motherfucker.
Yes.
Let me do this for another 2,000 years. I don't want a perfect ever after. I don't want an afterlife. I want this life for as long as I can possibly experience it until it doesn't have any meaning anymore. And then I'm ready to go. I don't want an afterlife. I don't.
No, and I'm
I
the
don't know.
same way. I think that wasting this life, waiting for an afterlife, and if you actually think about the Christian afterlife and what it's going to be, sitting up on your cloud all high and mighty while you hear the screams and wails of people being tortured beneath you, and you sing to some God who has put them there for eternity. You're gonna waste this life for that? And no, I completely get it, okay? Because you and I, we were both strong Christians at one point in our past. I have felt God in my heart so many times, but I have also felt so many different bands in my heart as well. I have felt so many movies in my heart as well, and so I don't get the same. I don't understand why people don't get that it's the same thing. You're basically feeling God in your heart is no different than feeling a song in your heart. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's real just because you feel it. It touched you, it moved you in some way. And something that I miss so much about church is that fellowship. And that, you know, so it's something that we try to build with our atheist communities, is that fellowship. But people that don't get it, like, they just see it as an opportunity to learn, which is amazing, but it's don't forget that it's also a way to connect with people, because it is so important. Your connection with people is so important, and I'm gonna miss it. I know that the second we do go to church and a billion people come up to me and shake my hand and give me a hug and tell me they're happy to see me, even though they've never seen me before ever, and they have no idea who I am. I am gonna miss that, because I love that. I love people. I love hugs. I love the handshakes. I love talking to strangers. I don't care. I love it so much. And again, it's that human experience, you know, and I miss that with atheism, and I think that really sucks. But Christmas is one of those times of year where you do kind of get that back. You know, I have a lot of friends who know that I don't have extended family, so they invite me to be a part of their family for Christmas, me and my kids, and it's wonderful. It's beautiful. Unfortunately, we have our own traditions, so I don't often get to partake in them if they're on Christmas Day. But I mean, getting to go over to a friend's house, and they've, you know, I've never met their friends before, and they're welcoming and hugs, and we all share wine and share our lives together. That is such an amazing thing, and I would never miss out on that for anything. I love Christmas. I'm an atheist who loves Christmas because it brings magic, and it brings back the human experience for us this one little time of year. And you know, it does for Thanksgiving too, I think. And like you, we do celebrate Easter. It's not as big. It's not as magical. So this is the time of year that I love for those reasons. You get to feel things in your heart. You get to really feel things in your heart, and I don't think that anyone should miss out on it. I feel really bad for our atheist friends that don't celebrate Christmas. And I'd love to actually have one on here. Oh, and that really reminds me, I wanted to tell you about this. So in Orange, Texas, there was a church, not a church, a government property that had a manger out on it. So some atheists, which I'm shocked atheists were in Orange County, but some atheists decide that they wanted to put a happy holidays sign out there as well, right? Not to remove the manger because it was religious or anything, just in addition to, can we somewhere on your property put happy holidays? So they said, they did a little ruling and they said no. Not only can you not put up happy holidays, but we're going to actually have to take down our manger because it violates such and such weird rule. And the atheists were like, no, please don't take down your manger. Like, we want you to have your manger. And if we can't have our sign that says happy holidays, that's fine. We'll go without our sign, but don't make the people take down their manger. And they were like, no, we have to take down the manger now. And so it was just one of those sad stories where it was like atheists were blamed for this yet again, just because they brought up a suggestion which reminded them of the no religious artifacts on government property rule. Which I think that, I don't really know how it works. And I think that there's a lot of different ordinances in different places that are set up, but as long as like everyone is represented, it's okay, or something like that. I don't know. So since they didn't want atheists happy holidays up, they made people take down the manger scene. And so I think that I'm a step closer to understanding the war on Christmas, and the war on Christmas seems to be Christians against Christians. Might be what it is. I don't know.
Yeah, it's, I'm one of the most staunch anti-theists out there, like, you know full well. And I again, I'm with you. I'm like, look, you don't have to remove your manger. Let's just be pluralistic. I think about my Jewish friends. I think about my Muslim friends. I think about my Hindu friends, and I go, why are you excluding them? Please don't do that. Make them a part of your life. I want everyone involved. I want everyone represented. And that's all I want. I'm not trying to take away from you and your tradition. I want you to include everyone. I want you to say, here I am with open arms. Come be a part of my community. Be a part of this. Embrace it with me. Embrace it in your own way. Let me embrace what you're doing. If you're a Jewish friend and you say, hey, would you like to celebrate Hanukkah with me? I'm going to say, wow, that's based on a horrific tradition from the Bible and the Old Testament. But at the same time, I understand your traditional viewpoint on that. And if that's how you celebrate, and that's how you feast, and that's how you get together and celebrate the human experience, I'd love to be a part of that with you. I really want to. I don't want to be excluded. And I think that's where secularism and atheism, like that, they coincide and they sort of commingle. And it's one of those, I just want everybody to be a part. I don't want people to feel left out, you know? Just because this is special to you doesn't mean it's not special to me. And it doesn't mean it's not special to the Hindu person over here who doesn't actually celebrate Christmas, but would love to be a part of your party. It's not exclusive to you as a Christian, and I don't want the Jewish kid to be sent out into the hallway while you have a Christmas party. I don't want that to happen. Stop. Don't exclude people. It's not about your celebration, it's about the exclusion. Stop pushing people away. I want the human experience to be about the human experience. I want us to connect on a human level. I honestly believe if we could all connect on that level, religion would fucking go away all on its own. If we could embrace the idea of the human experience, we only get one chance at this. No matter what you believe about an afterlife, we only get one time here on earth. And of course, this is slightly different for Hindus who believe in reincarnation or Buddhists. But the reality is, in this life, we only get one chance to experience this, to be here, to be us. To be a human being on the planet Earth, don't exclude people. Don't leave people out. Don't do that. That's the part that kills me. That's the thing that I have to fight against. It's not about your beliefs. It's not about your religion. It's about including everyone. Bring everyone into your tradition and accept that people have different opinions and different viewpoints and embrace their tradition. The Catholic Church embraced Saturnalia and adopted it because the pagan tradition was not going to be overtaken by the Catholic Church. So they embraced the tradition that was already there and encompassed it and pulled it into their own. And no matter how I feel as an anti-theist, as far as that being a hijacking of a former tradition, I love the idea of inclusion. I love the idea of bringing people into being a part of what you're doing and not excluding them and not leaving them out and saying, "Oh, you're a Jew, fuck you, get out of my Christmas party." Don't do that. That's horrible. That's terrible. And that's why I'm here. That's why I do what I do. Because I don't want that. I don't want that for my kids. I don't want that for your kids. I don't want that for anyone out there. I don't want you to feel like you're left out. I want you to be a part of this. That's how we're going to defeat terrorism. And I know that's a weird segue, but that's how we're going to defeat religious terrorism, is to be inclusive and say, I want you to be a part of what I'm doing. Be a part of my life. Understand me as a human being and understand my experience and be a part of it. You're welcome here. Please be a part of my life. I want you here. You know, that's what I try to promote. I hate that people like CJ Worman and other regressive leftists don't get that, but that's the reality. I want you to be a part of my life. Be here with me and understand that it's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than any of us. I
And
don't know.
on that note, to wrap that up into everything that we kind of started off with too, is a theme that you've been saying repeatedly is, this is our one life. This is it. And that's just another reason why you have to let some shit go sometimes. Or if you can't, reach out to someone early and say, I need you to help me. Early before you get to the point where you're puking blood, because we get this one life, and the things that matter to us most are the things that matter to us most, but you can't let anything affect your health. So that's a good reminder for our Christmas season here. This is our one life. This is your one shot. Take care of your body, take care of yourself, take care of your mind. Let things go when you can, reach out for help when you can. And I know I'm guilty. I'm a terrible, terrible person at reaching out for help. But thankfully, I've got family like Casper, who I can turn to in times where I do need to say, hey, I need help. And I know that no one's going to judge me or make me feel bad. So I hope that everyone can find that in their life. And I hope that everyone enjoys their holiday season, however you're celebrating it this year. I hope that you just find joy, and I hope that you get to experience that human experience. I hope you get to connect with someone, something, some moment that you find just magical for some reason. You look outside and it's snowing all of a sudden, and you love it. It feels good in your heart, and you just stare at it for a while. Whatever it is this season, I hope that you find some magic. I hope that you find some joy. And that's all I have to say for this week, I think.
All right, so we've ran a little bit over, of course. That's what happens when I get wasted like this. But I just want to end out by saying, from the bottom of our hearts, from mine and Allie's hearts, Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays. However you celebrate, however you spend this season, we love you. We want you to be a part of our tradition. We want you to be a part of our experience. We want you to be a part of our lives. We don't want to exclude you. We love you. Everyone out there, every single person. The Muslim extremist that wants to blow themselves up to get 72 virgins or whatnot, I don't agree with you. I can't stand your ideology. But as a human being, I love you. I want to embrace you. If I could right now, I want to hug you and tell you that there's a better way. There's a better life. There's a better experience. Be a part of it. You're welcome here. I don't hate you. I don't wish harm on you. I don't wish harm on your families. I don't support anyone hurting you or your families in any way. I love you. I want you to be a human being and to experience this life. So, happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy Ramadan. Whatever you're celebrating, whatever your experience is, I love you and I want you to experience that. And I respect your celebration of another rotation of the Earth around the sun, because that's what it boils down to. When we get to that point, we've made it through another revelation of the Earth around the sun, and that's something to celebrate. We made it through another hard time, in the human experience, and that's unique to us. So let's celebrate that. Can we put everything down for a day, for 2 days, for a week, for a month? Can we put everything down and just celebrate that? Let's just celebrate being here and being us and experiencing this. If you're an atheist who's still bitter about your religious experience, put it down for a day, for 2 days, for a week, and just celebrate being here and getting through this. We made it through another year, and we're still here. We still exist, and that's an amazing thing. It's worth celebrating. Um, I'm sorry. I get a little bit emotional. I love this. Um, I love being a person. I love being here. I wish I could be here forever. You know, it's a weird thing as an atheist. I do fear death, and I do fear not being here, and I wish I could be here forever. I love being here. I love all of you people. Um, and it hurts me that some of you don't feel that, and I feel somewhat to blame for that. I really do. I wish that you could be a part of what I feel. I wish that you could be a part of my life and experience being a human being on this earth. And I wish that you could love it so much that you would do anything to hold on to it. Um, as always, the views expressed here by Miss Allie and myself are not necessarily representative of the entire views of the entire Atheist Republic team. If you have a problem or issue with any of the things that we've said here, please take it out upon us. These are not the views of our organization necessarily, and certainly not the views of every 300 plus members of our team. This is just us letting it out and venting a little bit. If you would like to contribute to the Atheist Republic in any way, financially or through your input, please visit the atheistrepublic.com. There's a link in the description below, and you can follow that to our website and contribute in any way you see fit. We would love to have you be a part of this team. Again, Merry Christmas from an atheist, from two atheists who have no problem telling you Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. Have a happy season. Enjoy making it through another revelation of this planet around the sun. It only comes once, and we only get one chance at this. This has been Casper Rigsby and Allie Jackson for the Devils in God's Country and Atheist Republic. Glad to have you guys, and that's all we got. Love you. Join us next week.